Frequency's not in use, I can tell. I'm listening. This is K4PEW, net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. I'm sure there's no emergency traffic, otherwise you've already been here. If you do have any, just jump right in. We'll accept that at any time. Call 911 first, probably the best bet. The quickest action from the local first responders, which are real good in this area. For information on this net, you can go right down now to YouTube and see my screen. Oh, it's not the screen of my radio. It's my analog display of power out, and in my case, it's showing power out. For you guys, it's going to show signal strength. All you have to see it through the YouTube rather than on your antenna. And you can figure out a way to make your antenna better. But anyway, put in my call, K4PEW, into that search block, and it'll bring it right up. And if you watch the video, do please, the video won't do any good. I don't think you can hit a like on the video. Maybe you can. I think you can put a like on the video. I know you can put a like on the video, so please do so, whether you like it or not. It just helps people get attracted to Simplex stuff. You can also go to our website. No, I'm sorry, it's not .1. And that's the website for Simplex information. Also go to groups.io. Well, that's the website, groups.io. And you just type that in and you'll bring up their system, and you can just type in their search block MJSS. You can sign up for our email system, and also a great place to get on the email system is to get the net reminders, as well as information if you want it, technical information, support, help, that kind of stuff, or sell and buy equipment. Or you can send me an email at k4pew@arrl.net. That normally meets at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. We also conduct all kinds of other nets. And tonight, we conduct a net on 146.415 FM Simplex. And then we move over to 144.240 upper sideband. That's 2-meter upper sideband. And then we go to 50.135 upper sideband. And then we go over to 223.415 FM Simplex. And that wraps up our Saturday is always our cavalcade of we do 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 7 nets on Saturdays. That's the cavalcade. We do often 2 or 3 nets on Wednesday night, and then also Michael KM4YRF does the 10-meter net on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. on 28.415. That's tomorrow night. You got to be there, whether you like it or not. Just go in there, check in, make Michael happy. He gets depressed if he doesn't hear from everybody. But that's 28.415. That's .415. 28.415. Time myself out. 28.415. 7:30 p.m. Sunday nights. Be there or go take a nap. As far as announcements, I already told you all the nets we're doing. We had a great breakfast this morning over there at Golden Corral. And what else? I don't have any other announcements, I don't think. Does anybody else have any other announcements for tonight? Nothing heard. We already had, like I said, we had a DMR net, which there was 5 check-ins and 5 check-ins on D-Star tonight. I don't know how many were on C4 FM. You got a number for that, Michael?
5, Paul.
Another 5. It's 5, 5, and 5, man. It's a lucky 5s. Very good. Yeah, I'd like to see some more activity there, but that's it'll grow, I think. Nobody seems to be. Everybody's got digital, but they all have a digital connected to the internet to go into chat rooms in Czechoslovakia, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, where else was I here? That's all I have on the announcements. No more announcements, right? All righty. We'll be taking this is net number 902. We're starting from the south, and we'll be taking mobile and short on time. So please, mobile and short on time, please come first.
Kilo 4, Victor Alpha.
Very good. That's Michael. Kilo 4, Victor Alpha. How you doing?
We're doing pretty good. We're playing with a few radios.
Well, probably a few radios too many, like me.
I'm not going. No comment right now. No comment.
Well, you know the old story is. I hope when I die, the XYL doesn't sell them for what I told her I paid for them.
Yeah, I've got a few. I figured out that I'm gonna change my gender. I'm gonna become a radio, and I'm gonna rename.
But you'll still be 12 volts on the input of the power supply.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah, very good. Can't change the voltage. Well, yes, you could change the voltage, but that would take some doing. Anyway, anything else for that, Michael?
nah, I think I'll leave my voltage right where it's at. So let's say good evening to you, Paul, and everybody else on the net. And we'll say 7B's turning back over to you, K4UVA.
Very good. That's Michael in Hendersonville. Kilo Ford Victor Alpha Big Signal. Who else is short on time or mobile? Well, very good, Bill. Good to hear you again. Everything going well? Well, very good. I hope you're doing fine. That was anything else for the net before I move on? Very good. That was Bill in Murfreesboro. Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee. Who else is short on time or mobile? All righty. We'll take check-ins from the south. Please come now. Well, that was a rousing response from the south. Please come now.
Kilo India 4, November, Delta, November.
You know what we ought to do is have one guy be mobile, and he just moves around from one area to the next. He can check in 4 times.
Okay, who you talking to?
Yeah, I was talking to you, David. Well, you were the only guy who answered, so I was talking to you. How you doing, David?
Oh, I'm doing all right, Mr. Paul. I sure understood that. I thought you might be talking to me, but good evening to you, and thank you for what you do, and good evening to everybody on the net. A great Memorial Day weekend. Thank you all.
Yeah, that's what's always. Well, I don't know if it's always troubled me, but it troubles me when I think about Memorial Day weekend. It's the people who we're celebrating aren't here.
Yeah, I understand. And I know.
Very good. Well, you got noise covered up a lot of that. I don't know what happened. It was at your end or close to me, but it was a lot of noise during your transmission. But anyway, good to have you in there, David. That was Kilo India 4, November Delta, November. He's in Reedyville. Who else is south? Okay, from east, please come now.
KG4CXE, Chris and Royal.
Hey, man, you know, I upset my wife when we met the other day.
Why is that?
Well, it would be routine for me or anybody, including you, for me to say, "Hey, Chris, how you doing? This is my wife, June." And you would say, "Hi, June, how are you?" And then you'd say, "Hey, this is my main squeeze." And I don't remember her name, unfortunately, but that's the normal protocol. And neither of us did it. And she was a little miffed at me for that.
Oh, well, you know, I thought about it afterwards. I was like, well, that seemed like a normal interaction with Paul when I thought about it in hindsight. But yeah, I get that. I get where she's coming from.
Yeah, well, I had to beat her down out in the woods. Nobody could see.
Well, after your walk, right?
Yeah, that's right. No, but for those listening, Chris and I we crossed each other in the trail over at Couchville Lake at this 2-mile long path for exercise. I'm telling you what. What's your the girlfriend's name?
Her name's Cody.
Cody, Cody.
Yep.
Okay. I can't imagine how else it would be spelled. That's a Coaty. But anyway, I could have. I mean, she had difficulty. I can't believe she was out there on crutches on that path.
Yeah, well, of course, it's been through a little bit of physical therapy after the surgery, but yeah, I mean, it's to the point to where she's walking, and the crutches are just kind of keeping her to where the muscles, if they were to kind of give out, then she's got the support. But yeah, she's basically at the end of the recovery.
Okay, good. It just looked it looked kind of odd. That's all. That was I got to tell you, I took my mother on that, and she was in a wheelchair. Okay, so this is 4, 5, 6 years ago, And I said, man, this is trouble because when it's slightly uphill on some of those paths, and it's a little bumpy in some areas. But anyway, I said, man, this is hard work. She goes, well, I pushed you around in your stroller a long time. I go, yeah, but I didn't weigh 175 pounds.
That's true. But yeah, it's basically an outdoor physical therapy instead of just at the office. They're paying for it.
Oh no, that's right. Well, matter of fact, I quickly said I remember watching. I don't know if he was a fitness expert or anything. He says, yeah, you can do like on a stationary bicycle, you can do that. You can also be on a treadmill, you can do that. But that only keeps you in an exactly steady state operation. It doesn't really reflect actual conditions when you're walking around in the real world.
Yeah, that's true. And those are those are things that she could do indoors. Yeah, but we just opted to go out there because the weather was so nice that day. But yeah. So hopefully be back to full speed soon.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so I apologize. Yeah, she wasn't really upset. She was like, what am I? Oh, man. I said, it actually caught me by surprise to see somebody out there I knew. I said, that's what kind of guy. Hey, there's Chris. Even though he was wearing shades, trying to go incognito.
I was incognito. Yeah, I ran into you. It was Walmart. I think I was probably in there incognito too. But yeah, next time we'll absolutely introduce.
Okay. Very good. That was anything else on that, Chris?
No, that's all I've got.
Very good. That's Chris. He is in Rural Hill, closer to the Couchville Lake, by the way. It's Kilo Golf 4 Charlie X-Ray Echo down in Rural Hill. Who else is south?
KB4 SFM.
Hey, what are you, south of Kentucky? How's that?
Well, I had to jump in there right quick because I got a call for supper. And if I don't get down there real quick, she'll give it to the dog.
I'll probably give it to the dog anyway. No, if you don't get down there, she will give it to the dog. You're right. Anyway, everything going well, Tom? I don't want to keep you.
Well, this could be expected for a man my age. All right, KB4 SFN. Good luck.
Yeah, very good. That was Tom. He is in Martha, and that's Martha, Tennessee, of course. And good signal. That was Kilo Bravo 4 Sierra Foxtrot November. Tom. Who else is south or east?
KK5S, BKI4SOR. Good evening, Paul.
Hold on. I had two in there. One of them was Richard, and the other one was KK5S. How are you doing, Kerry?
I'm doing fine. You mean I beat Richard twice today?
Why did you beat him at the breakfast? I didn't see you beat him.
I got his parking place in front of him this morning.
Oh, very good. Yeah, you guys had your own little meeting over there on that side of the dining table.
Yeah, we just did. We kind of spread everybody out this morning.
I kind of wish we had a like a round table better when there's only like I said, there was 11 or 12 of us. I just wish it was more like that because I don't know. It seems to exclude the two groups from each other.
Yeah, that was one advantage we did have when we used to go to the other place over on Mount Juliet Road. Forgot the name of it now, but we could kind of pull everything together and basically have the round table, so to speak.
Yeah, well, we'll get over it. Maybe we'll just use musical chairs next time.
Yeah, we all try to catch up with each other all the way around there. And just glad to be back in town and away from work long enough to play on the radio a minute here and enjoyed the conversation this morning as usual.
Oh yeah, well, it's always good to have those kind of. It's kind of really, it's like I'd say it was boys' night out, but it isn't really. My wife said, "What'd you guys talk about?" I go, "Everything and nothing."
Correct. My wife always asks, "Well, did y'all solve the world's problems today?"
Yeah, you probably came up with similar solutions that we did.
Well, if they would just listen to us, all these problems would go away.
Unfortunately, politics, greed, and corruption gets in the way.
Very correctly stated.
It just does. I mean, you think some would be simple, but they complicate the living heck out of it.
True.
Anyway, anything else for the net, Kerry? You sound great.
Nothing tonight. Just thank you for the net, and I will get out of the way and let Richard get back in there. KK5S clear.
Yeah, Richard's steaming right now. Man, he beat me. That was Kerry, Kilo 5 Sierra, and he is in Baird's Mill. Who else? Richard, I got you in there.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Good to see you this morning.
Good to be there. Hope everybody's doing well. Just out of curiosity, what antenna are you using?
I'm using my my stepchild antenna. It's got a slightly less. It's a good antenna, but it's just got a slightly less elevation and a little slightly less dBi gain.
I can tell. No offense, but I mean you sound good, but I've got some noise up here from somewhere that's hitting on everybody's signal. But you're coming through it without a problem. So I'll shut up and get out of the way. 7-3 to everybody, and let's not forget the reason that we're celebrating or doing what we're doing this weekend, because all gave some, but some gave all.
Oh, absolutely, Richard. Yeah, Richard. I'm sure everybody can hear Richard, but just the reason we're celebrating is those fallen members of our armed forces and others who weren't necessarily in the armed forces when they died in the service to the country. We had a whole bunch of CIA agents and even FBI agents. We can even, they don't do it, but it's also policemen, first responders. Anyway, it's really Memorial Day is about our servicemen, of course. And like I said earlier, we celebrate those who can't be here, and it's unfortunate because they gave their current lives and they gave their future lives for that in defense of our country and usually in the defense of freedom around the world. Anyway, anything else for the net, Richard?
No, sir. I just say God bless everybody and take care. Talk to you when I can. KI4S, I'll be out of the way. Thank you, sir. Good night.
Yeah, that was Richard, Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo, and his bride. I'm thinking he wants to check her in. That's Kilo India 4 Sierra Oscar Romeo. They're just west of downtown Lebanon. Who else is south or east? I'm only hearing squelch break in there. Who is that? Anybody got a relay for me? No, I'm not copying a word. I have no idea who that. I can't even hear the voice. All I hear is the noise of the squelch breaking. Sorry, but email me. K4PEWAR@ARRL.net. But you just want to try one more time. I don't know if you're on low power, or you stand out and raise your antenna or what. All righty, I don't know who that was, but yeah, email me or text me at my. Well, if you don't have my number, you can't text me. But anyway, you can text me at it's a 615-795-7396. 69793-7596. That's what it is. Who else is east? Okay, nothing heard from the north. Then please come down. All right, Brian, you doing okay this afternoon?
Oh yeah, just riding around, going to the post office, get some stamps.
Yeah, a friend of my wife's mentioned the post office because she works there. A friend of hers who's still, they've known each other for I don't know 30 years, 40 years, and she often sends her gifts in the mail for a variety of reasons, but I say often, a couple of times a year she'll send like for her birthday celebration or Christmas, and so she says to her, she goes, "Man, it must be nice getting free postage service because you work there." My wife goes, "Free? I pay the same as everybody. Where'd you think we got a free mail service?"
Well, doesn't she peel the stamps off the letters as they come in?
No, I'm telling you, they can get fired for picking up a quarter from the floor. That's how crazy they are. Crazy. That's how clinically correct they are with anything that's not yours. You can't pick it up, can't take it, can't take nothing home, nothing.
So if you want to get people fired there, you just throw some change in the back?
If they'll pick it up, yeah. I was in doing some work for the Postal Service back in the 90s, and I was talking to the manager of this one station, and she was in the process of going through mail that could not be delivered, and that mail goes to the trash dump, goes into the dumpster. And in other words, it has no return address, or it's not paid return, or paid for return, prepaid, that is, or postage guaranteed, that kind of. So there happened to be some toys in there, some of those metal like trucks. It wasn't Tonka, it was just little, almost like Matchbox, but they weren't. They were like promotional stuff, like Texaco used to have. And so I said, well, I reached into the cart and picked it up. I said, that's pretty nice. I said, you mind if I take it? She goes, nope, put it back. I said, Isn't it going to the trash? He goes, yes, it is, but you can't take it.
Yeah, isn't that something? Something just goes in the dumpster that could be used for right? Somebody somewhere. Yeah. That's the government. Oh well, got by these stamps, so I'm gonna jump out. I got nothing for the net, as usual. At least I'm in it this time.
That's right. You got to be in it to, I was going to say win it, but we don't have any prizes. Just a booby prize, I guess. All right, very good. That was Brian. Kilo Alpha 3 Charlie Tango Papa. He's mobile right now over at somewhere, post office somewhere, I guess in Hendersonville. And we'll catch him later. That was Brian. Who else is east or north?
Whiskey 4, Mike, Uniform Foxtrot.
Hello, Jimmy. What's up?
Hey, Paul. Just sitting here keeping my new knee iced and elevated.
Ah, is that how long did it take? Just one day in the hospital?
It was the same day surgery. It took about an hour and a half, about another hour and a half in recovery and, check out.
Sounds like they did it out in the parking lot.
No, I don't think they did. I hope not.
Were you totally out for the surgery, I take it?
Yeah, general anesthesia and all that.
Yeah, okay, very good. No, I just didn't. I presume so. I didn't know if knee surgery, because it really isn't. It's really, man, is it quick these days? Because I mean, it's like you're in. It used to be you'd go in one day and get out the next. Now you get out the same day.
Yeah, probably the safest major surgery that you can have.
Yeah, well, I'm facing that thing down the road on both of my hips, so I'm not looking forward to it. But whatever.
Yeah, well, I got nothing new for that.
Very good. You get any more new antennas?
Well, I'm on an HF antenna now. It's in-fed half-wave. That's the only thing new.
Oh, yeah. So you told me about that last time. Is it working good for you?
It is working good, but I'm having a problem with touch appliances in the house going off every time I transmit.
I don't know. What is the solution to? Did you find a solution to that at all, or is there one that's written for a solution on those end-fed half-waves? Because I don't have that problem on mine, but that doesn't mean that I don't know of any appliances I'm having problems with.
Well, I've got a touch lamp and a touch faucet, and both of them come on when I transmit over about 100 watts.
Huh. That's interesting. Does anybody else mention that on the sites or anywhere, somewhere on the internet?
I've asked several times, but nobody seems to know anything about it. I did find one article on it, but I haven't read it yet.
Huh. Interesting. I'd like to see if you do get an answer, let me know. I know that it's interesting, the touch ones. The faucet, so you're wasting water every time you transmit.
Yeah. I have to go all day. I have to switch frequencies, then change modes and click it one time with the key, then go back to SSB voice.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating. So if you went on CW, you'd just be flashing it on and off on the water.
I would guess so.
Yeah, very good. Anything else for the net, Jimmy?
No, sir. That's it.
Very good. That's Jimmy here in Mount Juliet. Whiskey 4, Mike Uniform Foxtrot. Anybody have an answer to that? The touch lamp and a touch faucet that goes, it energizes when he transmits on an end-fed half-wave. I know I asked you last time, Jimmy, so I'm not going to ask you again about it. I think you did say you had a ground rod with on the coax, on the radio side, on the radio side of the thing. So I don't know what the answer to that is. Anyway, who else is north?
Kilo Quebec 4 Foxtrot Echo Golf.
I think I heard two in it. Let me get you. Hold on. I heard Kilo Quebec 4 Foxtrot Echo Golf. Was there somebody else in there? Boy, but your signal's really bad, Chris. Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha. That's Chris. Both of you are noisy. I'm not sure why. Kilo Quebec 4 Foxtrot Echo Golf. Go ahead.
No, just checking in, listening to everybody.
How's it sounding to you from your QTAs?
I can hear you fine. Just a lot of crackling in the background.
Yeah, I think it depends upon the location. But I have heard some of the stations have been really noisy. Yours isn't too bad, just a little bit of crackling. But yeah, some of the stations are really noisy.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about this kind of net, though. You get to see, and it's constantly changing,
Yeah, and I've said this a bunch of times before, but I've even had some seasoned long time hams who hadn't spent a lot of time on 2 meters. They usually they're on, you know, they're either talking to somebody really locally or they're talking to somebody over a repeater, or mobile, they're on a repeater. And they didn't realize how much conditions affected, you know, affected local communication. But then we're in my case, you know, I'm talking, you're in Bethpage and I talk as far as 65 miles away. So you could have conditions really mess things up.
Yeah, I've been doing some mobile stuff. Finally, about to start permanently mounting my radio and my mobile, and it changes from mile to mile.
Oh, absolutely. Well, mobile, you're starting out with a real handicap. It's called, you're right at the ground level.
Yeah, I've got a lower vehicle now with a smaller roof for the mag mount, so it's even less of a ground plane. So I've noticed just going from one vehicle to another that it seems to have affected it.
Well, you could, I think I may have mentioned to that before, I don't know, but I'll say it again. There is, Diamond makes I think somebody else does too. It's a 96-inch tall, 2 meter only antenna for mobile use. It's got a fold over so you can, you know, bend it down if you go into a parking garage or your own garage. But that is one efficient antenna on a mobile.
Well, I'm gonna play around with this. I've been playing around with the Rig Expert today. It's just confusing me, so I don't know. I'm looking for a more permanent antenna for my HF at home. I think this random wire is just driving me batty.
How long is your random wire?
Oh, it's 150 plus feet. I can't find my notes, but I got the length off of one of the charts, so I know it's in the range of the right length, but I don't know. It's just driving me nuts.
Yeah, I did the same thing. It wasn't, technically it was a random length, but it just was random only because that's how I said, that's how much I'm choosing for it. And I wanted it to be a half wave 160 antenna, or essentially it would be an 80 meter antenna technically. And so I put it, and man, I could not get it to tune properly on 160 to save my life. And so I did the measurements again. I said, so I added 20 feet to it. I don't remember what the actual measurement was, but obviously I made it too short. I added it 20 feet, tuned right up.
Yeah, I've cut off 8 inches here, 6 inches here, and I don't know if I'm helping it or hurting it. And I'm not sure I'm using, I just got this Rig Expert, so now I got to figure out, do I even know how to use this thing? So now I'm watching videos on it.
Yeah, that's probably the best place to start. You're right. But there's a lot of complexity to that Rig Expert.
Yeah, I like the way it's Bluetooth though. You can hook it to the computer, so I don't know. It was brought up that maybe a random wire can't be resonant, so you have to go through the tuner, and that's just confusing the crap out of me, really.
Oh, I got you. Well, it is going to have to go through a tuner to match up with the radio. But you don't like doing that, or it's just not working properly?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how to do that properly, you know.
Yeah, I got it. Now the random wire, is that going through a baling of some kind?
Yeah, it's a 9-to-1, and then it's about 25 feet off the ground at the highest point.
Well, that sounds like a good start anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to somebody in Moscow the other day, so I mean, on 14 megahertz, so that's what gets me. The Rig Expert says my SWR is like 4, but yet I can talk to Russia, but then it says it's resonant on 7 megahertz, and I can't hardly talk to anybody.
Yeah, no, I get it. Again, a lot of that is you know, it's conditions based too. I mean, I did a fair amount of QRP a long time ago, and which is aggravating to do anyway. You got to have a lot of patience. But I was amazed I could be on 5 or 10 watts and talk all over the world on some days and talk to nobody the next day.
Yeah, I just don't stay up late enough. I mean, I'm missing that Thursday night because I went to bed at 8 o'clock. So, you know, it's hard to stay up late enough to really play like I want to.
Oh yeah, no, there was a time. That's when I was doing some of that QRP. I was working from about, I forget what time I started, but I was up till like 4 or 5 in the morning. You know, I could work all night, and so I added up with Australia and New Zealand and I never did work Japan from here, but I could hear them. I never did talk to them. And I think I talked. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of West Coast stuff and Hawaii and stuff like that because it was up late at night.
Well, roger that. Well, I'll let you go, get some more check-ins, and it's good talking to you. And 73 is everybody, KQ4 SEG.
Very good. That's Kevin and Beth Page, Kilo Quebec 4 Foxtrot Echo Golf. A little confused about the antenna analyzer, I'll call it. It's really a network analyzer, I think you'd call it. Anyway, who else is any place, yeah, including North?
WB0 Tango.
There was 2 in there, but I'll take Mark first. How you doing, Mark?
Doing well. Just kind of listening to the net. Sorry I missed breakfast this morning. I get screwed up as to which Saturday it is. But maybe next time.
Man, it's in the reminder system.
Yeah, I know. We went to a Beach Boy concert last night downtown at the Skimmerhorn. Didn't get home till late. I didn't catch it, so that's on me.
Oh, I know. It's your loss. You know?
Yep. But I did notice that the Beach Boys weren't boys anymore.
How many were there?
Well, there were 2 originals, all.
Okay, they didn't have the whole. They didn't have any fill-ins for the rest of them.
Oh yeah, they had some young guys there who did a great job. Actually, sounded better than the 2 originals. But and those guys are in their 80s. They're like me.
Yeah, you're not 80, are you?
No, not quite.
I didn't think so. Anyway, no, I was. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to drag my wife there unless I put her in handcuffs and chains because she can't stand the Beach Boys. Because she was born in '62. She doesn't like the Beatles. She doesn't like the Beach Boys. I like both of those groups, but ask her if she wants to go to a Foreigner concert or some of these others from the '70s and '80s. Oh yeah.
Yep. We went to the Foreigner concert. I don't know. I guess a couple of years ago down there. It was probably the best concert we've been to in a while. But the Beach Boys were entertaining, and there's the whole crowd was in shorts, Hawaiian shirts, and ball caps, and they all had white hair sticking out.
Nobody was carrying a surfboard, huh?
No, not in Nashville anyway.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that was it's funny when you grow up in that certain era, you tie not only the songs, but you think about the nostalgia of the vehicles you drove and what you were doing at school or whatever you were doing. It's really funny how nostalgic groups bring it all back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and you go through a period of life when you forget about all that stuff. And then you get old and you have time to think about it and it all comes back.
Yeah. That's the problem. I can only remember the old stuff.
Yep, me too. All righty. Well, carry on. Have a great net. I'll be listening. WB0NOO.
Yeah, very good. That's Mark. Whiskey Bravo 0, November Oscar in Northwest Mount Juliet. Who else? Or Northwest Wilson County, I should say. Who else is any place anywhere, including North?
Kilo Quebec. Tango. Any better?
Oh, okay, very good. I forgot about you, Chris. That was Chris. Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Echo Tango. How you doing? You weren't the other guy I couldn't hear before, was it?
I was. That was me on. I have bought a new HT65R, the Yaesu HT65R, and I had a good signal to the Thursday night net with Wilson County Amateur Radio Club, and they're about equidistant for me. The repeater's equidistant for me to where you're at. So I was surprised you couldn't hear me standing in my front yard.
Well, that's part of the problem. Is their antennas are much higher than mine.
Yeah, that's true. So, and then I tried getting in. You heard me my first try on my mobile from the truck. It was like what happened last time. I just moved the truck up 20 feet, and now we're pretty good.
Oh, very good. Everything going okay?
Yeah, not too awful bad. It's just was kind of hoping that the that FT65R would reach you a little bit better than my bounce thing. But of course, you were talking about how different nights will affect different things, so the conditions might not be right for that.
Yeah, I'd say you crawl up on the roof, but I don't think that's a good idea at night.
Nope, not so much. Actually, I can't wait to get this roof replaced so I can actually get my antenna up. Then I can set up the station won't have to worry about climbing into my truck every time you catch a net.
Oh, I got you. Well, very good. That was Chris, Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Echo Tango. So you're at the house right now, then?
Yeah, sitting out in the driveway. Hey, one last thing. The guy who had the problem with his touch lamp going off every time he transmitted, I understand it might be, I'm still doing this, but I understand if you wrap a couple toroids or a toroid or two through the power cord, it could shield it off from that, but I'm not sure. That's what I've heard.
I've heard, yeah, toroids around the power cord for the lamp. It's hard. I don't know what you do for I don't know how those touch faucets work, if they're on battery or, can't imagine they plug those into the wall. Maybe they do.
Yeah, I don't know either. I know the one we had at our office was a battery, and they eventually replaced it because the maintenance guy just got tired of having to replace the battery every 3 months.
That's how lazy we get. We have to have a touch faucet.
Yeah, it didn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, we can't even flush our own urinals anymore.
I hate the sensors on the toilet, on the sit down. If you lean the wrong way, you're getting a little spray.
No, that's right. You get a partial douche.
It's unintentional today.
Very good. Anything else, Chris?
No, sir. You guys have a great night. 73, everybody.
Yeah, very good. That's Chris. Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Echo Tango. He's over in down in Rural Hill. Who else? North or west?
KO4 OTV. How about south?
Well, I'll take south in a second. You already passed by south. You must have jumped in late, Jimmy.
I did. I'll wait.
All right, very good. We got Joel in there, and he's up in the northwest. How you doing, Joel?
I'm good. I've just been out there tending to this fire, trying to cool off, man. I tell you, I collected a bunch of brush over the last winter that I've just had scattered around the yard where I've just been moving it, and finally went out there and collected today because I got to mow again tomorrow. But other than that, man, I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, yeah, I got a bunch I have to do. I'm waiting because I have to wait for the brush truck to come. It's going to be a couple of weeks, but I've got 80% of my shrubs died in this winter's freeze. So I got a lot of stuff to drag out of the front yard, and I'm not going to do that until a few days before the truck gets here.
Yeah, I forget you're in the city limits. They won't let you burn there, will they?
No, you can get a burn permit, but I never tried. I've only done some really minor burning.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't know how that worked there, but there's certain times of year we're supposed to get them out here, but who the heck's going to know way out here? As many fires that I've had out here, I'm not going to burn the woods down anyway. I tend to it most of the time until it gets down to just cold. But yeah, I had a big section of the front yard out here where we pull out, and it started blooming this year, and it started blocking our vision to pull out of the driveway. We're kind of in a blind spot anyway, so I went ahead and whacked all them out. Heck, it was such a big pile. Before I was done with it, I had to pull it with the truck and wrap a big chain around it and a big strap and hooked it to the bed of the truck or the bumper, I should say, and then pulled it to the backyard and then burned it all up. And then I had a bunch of other stuff in the front, not far from that pile that I've had stacked up there. And I'm glad to see it gone. I tell you what, though, I feel like I've been sunburnt though.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. And plus, you start to smell like a fire.
Oh yeah, we're way past that.
I had my quick story. This is going back into the 70s. I had a property in my next door. It was a swale, I'll call it. It was a drainage swale right between me and my next door neighbor. And he was only about 50 feet away from me. And so it was a whole bunch of dead tree limbs. And I mean a bunch. It could have probably filled the back of a 18-foot stake body truck. I mean, it was just a whole bunch of stuff in there. And he and I said, we're deciding how we're going to get rid of it. And I go, I'm going to just burn it in place because there's a whole bunch of it. And so I threw some of the charcoal fluid, lighter fluid in there, threw a match in there, and it was dry. It was before the rainy season in Florida. And I didn't figure it would go up in that big. This thing went up. We actually drew attention, and somebody called the fire department, I think. And we both had to bring out our hoses and put the fire out. We had such a conflagration between the houses.
I've done it, man. And there's a lot of times you don't even need any fuel. I usually let mine sit for, I don't know, a couple months before I burn it, or, at least a month, let it dry out some. And I usually just throw a little box in there, and that usually does the trick, because that's what does it to me every time. I had a pile that was well over my head a little while ago, and when it went up, majority off within, I don't know, 10 minutes. It was down to a little bit of nothing, and now it's just, you know, the smoldering part now. But I've done that so many times, and I've been real weary of that for many years because, yeah, you can get yourself into trouble real fast.
Yeah, well, I ended up with that swale because it was more like a drainage ditch kind of, and I ended up because I was fencing the yard. I went ahead and dug an actual drainage little canal so I could narrow it down, and I filled in both sides, and I made it so it drained into the lake without taking up our property. So it was kind of cool what I did, but it was still a lot of work.
Oh, it always is. It's you know, you got to tend to that thing, and you know, I got this big rake with a big metal end on it that I just keep stabbing at it until it's down to pretty much nothing. And I tell you, it just the coals alone get so hot that it's hard to get around it.
Oh yeah, no, it's. As a matter of fact, I think about the things I did in my youth, I'll say in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, I think, man, I'm never doing that again.
But you know, I say that stuff all the time, and I end up doing it anyway.
Well, I'm talking about the hard work part. Like, I mean, I had to, when I put in my own fencing, you know, having to not drill, you know, those augers to put in fence posts, and you know, 200 feet of that, and maybe it was more than 200 feet. But it's just a lot of work. You know, I wouldn't do that now.
Oh no, yeah, I did that too when I moved in here. I had to put me a dog fence up so the dogs gonna, you know, spend so much money on the fence and a special door I had to have. And I had to cut a hole in the door that I bought for $500, and then put a $200 doggy door in it. It just got ridiculous. But yeah, I know what you mean. That's how I felt about this shack out here when I was gonna build it myself, and I thought, you know, I really don't feel like building a 30 by 40 by 12 by myself, and it'd take me forever. So I had the Amish come do it, and they did it in a day and a half, and I felt like I wasted my money.
Oh wow, that's awesome. They look good.
Oh, it's the Amish, man. They're just good. They just, you know, they can put one up in no time, and I mean, they had this thing up and running, and I mean, turnkey. They had to, you know, they were waiting on the concrete guys. They came out here and did it in an afternoon, and I mean, tell you, man, it was a real quick way to spend $23,000.
Oh wow, 23,000. That's quite a lot. Oh well, that's a lot of money, but you know, when you're independently poor like myself, you can do that kind of stuff.
Well, you know, they finance as well. They're real, and this thing it was very much so worth it because now it probably cost me double that to do this thing. It's massive. You know, it's got very high ceilings in it because I was gonna put a lift in it, but eventually I'm gonna. But other than that, man, it was very much worth it. At the time, it doesn't feel like it because they do it so fast. You feel like you got robbed, but they built it very well. It's their slogan is the buildings that outlast you.
Oh wow. I don't want it that good though. I only want it to last another 15 years or so. By the way, do they carry Amish like cards so they can be? It's like carrying my VA card. Do they have an Amish card to prove it?
You know, I don't know. That's a good question. I do know they ride with a guy that I guess he's a Mennonite, and the rest of them are, you know, they're allowed to use technology, and the other ones are not. But they still did. I mean, they put it up to, you know, powered pretty much DeWalt drills, and they even had an auger machine on the front end. I mean, I got it on video because, you know, I got surveillance all around here, so I watched them build it in real time. And I just fast forwarded it when I was rewinding to watch them do it, but it was amazing how quick they did it. I mean, these guys, you can tell, man, there's only 4 of them that did it. And by the time I got home, the frame was up, and I pulled in the driveway and couldn't believe it. And then by noon the next day, they had all the metal on.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's cool. You know, well, again, when people know what they're doing, if I do it, it's going to take me 3 times as long, and I'll have to do it twice. And they do it once, and it looks great.
Absolutely, and that was the whole philosophy for me as well. I did not want to fool with it and climb all the way up, you know, 30 feet high on the very tip top and all that. Yeah, and I don't mind heights. I do it all the time, but you know, I'm not a carpenter by any stretch or metal. I'm not into any of that stuff. I'm a low voltage guy.
Well, you can't build a shed out of wire though.
Oh, absolutely not. But I did wire this. That was one thing I did do that they didn't. And I had some garage doors put in by Horman. That's where some German-made ones that are supposed to be the best of the best. But we'll see. They've been here 5 years working flawlessly.
Cool. Anything else for the net?
That's it, Paul. It's all back to you.
Very good. That's Joel. He's in the Cheatham Preserve out there northwest of us quite a ways. I forget how far, 25 miles maybe, as the crow flies, as they say, as the RF moves. And that's Kilo Oscar 4 Oscar Tango Victor. Who else is west?
Don't forget Jim.
Oh, I won't. We haven't gotten down. Oh, yeah, I got to get him. I just want to finish west. I'll take Michael KM4YR.
Well, good evening, Paul.
So the radiator's fixed. Is that what you said?
Yes, it is. I'm happy to say my brother-in-law came through.
Oh, he supplied the radiator, did he? He found it for you?
Oh, no, we went over to O'Reilly's, over to their warehouse and picked it up, and it took him about an hour to install it because we already had the old one out.
Oh, wow, that's great. No, it's fun when you get something, just it's nice, easy fix. How much is the radiator?
Well, it was $211, but I got it through HMR where he works, and it cost me $180 plus a gallon of antifreeze.
Yeah, well, the good old days, everything's more expensive. I bought 3 cars for $180.
Man, I hear that. Had a good time at the breakfast today, and even though I had to step beside Richard.
Oh, well, my condolences.
Yeah, I know it, man. It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it.
Yeah, well, it's either that or just go sit with him over there at the assisted living.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Very good. Anything else for the net, Mike?
No, that's all. And I'm sorry I didn't make the DMR net, but I had to pay my helper.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. No big deal. But the fusion net went okay.
Yes, we had 5, and 5, and so that seems about the normal.
Yeah, pretty much. It varies a little bit, but again, a nice night, and it's Saturday nights are a little rough because there's lots of things you can do when the sun's out. When the nights go longer. Anyway, good enough. That was Mike, Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. He's over there west of the airport, or southeast Nashville, I'll call it. Who else is okay? Jimmy, please come now.
My turn. KE4TYJ.
Hey, very good. When did you say you're going on your bike trip?
Oh, not till June. Halfway through June. June 16th.
Oh, okay, so it's not for another couple of weeks. Cool. Yeah, that's kind of nice. It'll be nice and warm.
Oh yeah, I'll be all right. We're good.
Oh, bet. Everything else going okay?
Yeah, I cut grass the other day when I got home from work because it's the weekend. I don't want to work on the weekend. Did a little work to the old motorcycle and got that running like she should. Had some O-rings to replace, and cleaned her all up, and we took her out and had a lunch ride with it. So yeah, it's not too awful bad to still be able to ride a 1997 model with 134,000 miles on it. So still runs good.
Yep, she's just getting started, really. She should do another 190.
Oh yeah, no problem. Except she's sharing time with a Goldwing, and the Goldwing wins out most of the time.
At least on the long trips, right?
Pretty much all the time. I'm spoiled.
So you don't want to sell the older one, huh?
No. I'm not gonna get rid of it. I still love it.
Yeah, but it's funny. If you don't ride it, though, why keep? Just a nostalgia?
I still ride it. Just not, it's hard to ride 2 bikes all the time. But no, I still ride it.
I'm just curious. I know I get stuff. I don't want to get rid of it just because I don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't want to get rid of it. I bought that thing brand new back in '97. That was my first brand new motorcycle, and they don't make them no more, and it's kind of a cult following now, the Valkyrie. So yeah, I don't see no need to get rid of it.
Well, by the time you do get rid of it, when they sell your estate, they're gonna go for big money.
Nah, it's just going down to my oldest son. He's probably got dips on it anyways.
Okay, very good. Anything else for the net, Jimmy?
No, not at all. It's good to hear most people. I don't know if it's conditions or what. Your signal's down a little bit lower than what it normally is. So I don't know what's going on. It's 2 meters. It's always fun. But good to hear you. Other than that, you're sounding good there, Paul. And so the other people I'm pointed at so far. But typical Saturday night here, and just enjoying the outdoors and doing stuff on the deck and outside and having fun with that. All right, let you go. Thanks for picking me up. KE4TYJ.
Yeah, very good. That's Jim. He's in Woodbury, and that's Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet. Good signal, by the way. Your signal was very good. Yeah, it's been a little noisier from some of the locations. I'm not sure why it's so dramatically different. That's such a nice night. It was. Some signals were really noisy. Anyway, but Jimmy had a good signal. Who else is? Of course, he's on a B. Pointed at me, so it helps. Who else is? Let's see. We have West. Well, I guess West or South or anybody who hasn't checked in.
KG4 ILV Jack and Donaldson.
It's Jocular Jock, Radio Jock Jack and Donaldson. I had to think about that this afternoon.
That took a while to come up with.
No, we had this way. It reminded me. I don't know why. His name was Jack. He was one of these AM radio announcers in the early '70s. Well, through the '70s in Tampa. He was really a funny guy, and he was fun. One of those local guys that was fun to listen to because he always came up with silly and funny, stupid things, and that was one of them. I think that's what he said. This is Jocular Radio Jock Jack, whatever his last name was, on whatever station it was. And he was just a funny guy.
Yeah, they all have to come up with some kind of shtick.
Well, that's all they got to sell is their voice and their humor or whatever interests people. Otherwise, the drive time would be dead.
Well, that's true. But anyway, hey, thanks for doing the D-Star Net tonight.
Oh yeah, no problem. I guess you could have done it just as easily. You're actually more central than me.
Well, you did a fine job.
Oh yeah, well, I've been doing enough of that, so I hope I can do them at least okay.
Well, anyway, thanks for doing this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Very good. That was Jack and Donaldson. Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor. Anybody else south or anywhere, or east or west or wherever?
4 Charlie Victor Echo. No traffic really. I'll see you on the next net.
All right, very good. That's Greg. He is in Antioch, Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. He had no traffic, and he's jumping over to the next net. Who else? Any place, anywhere west particular?
KC4TNQ.
Yeah, you sound good. Did your radio change, or did you do any more transmitting to find out about that Alinco, if it was doing the right thing?
The only thing I say was a bad cable connection because it was the watt meter was kind of fluttering and it was on 18, and then about the third time I keyed up talking to you, it went back to normal. So I'm on the Yazoo now and it's working fine.
Oh, I got you. Very good. Yeah, I don't know. I always cringe when I think there's a problem with the radio because that means I got to take it somewhere, ship it somewhere, or replace it.
Well, it hadn't been on in 2 weeks, so I don't know what the deal was going on that, but wasn't able to make the net last weekend because I was in Utah.
Oh, really? What were you doing out there?
My daughter was graduating from the University of Utah, getting her PhD.
Oh, that's awesome. What was her PhD specialty there? Her thesis or whatever it is.
She's working in immunology and microbiology. She wants to be a research scientist.
Oh, wow. Immunology and what?
Microbiology, the cells and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. And then you have to always add to that's Southern expression and things of that nature.
Well, she can get over my head real quick.
Oh, my gosh. If you're talking immunology or microbiology, you've lost me. I have to think about what both the terms really mean.
Yeah, for the last couple of years, she's been working with the flu, so they're trying to develop a vaccine that will last longer than, the one that they presently have.
So I honestly forget COVID for the moment, but I've gotten the flu shot every year just due to my age, and because they recommend, and not the COVID. That's not what I'm talking about. And I'm trying to figure out how they can give me a flu shot for a flu that hasn't hit yet.
Well, I think they kind of know it's coming because, it starts in other parts of the country. So I think they kind of know which one's going to be coming. But what I told her she needs to try to develop is for the common cold.
Yeah, good luck on that.
She says you can't do it, but, it's just like anything. If you find out the base issue, you could probably make a vaccine for it.
Well, it's the same kind of thing that kind of confuses me. How long have you been watching the muscular dystrophy telethons in your life? 30, 40 years?
Oh, well, yeah, but it's probably 50 for me.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how long it's been. I really don't know. But you figure they haven't solved that riddle yet.
Well, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of other things that come around, you know, ALS and all that kind of stuff that they could, you know, try to help. There's all kinds of things that you could do research on.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, they're trying to figure out what the heck Alzheimer's is so they can kind of prevent it. You know, they're going crazy on that one too. All kinds of things.
Yeah, all that's was it nerve related issues, I think. Would you say?
You're asking the wrong guy. I theorized that because Alzheimer's, you'd think it would affect a lot more people. You know, just due to age, because not everybody gets it. You know, this is just, I don't know what the percentages are. And so I theorize that it's a microbe or a bacteria or a virus that gets in through your central nervous system into your brain that causes it. Because how come all of a sudden somebody just gets it? And some people get it at 50. Some people get it at 40. Most of them get it in their later years.
I don't know if you just talk to my wife. She says I have it
now. Have what? No, I heard what you said. No, you're right. It's that whole thing is just a big mystery to me. That's why it is nice to know that there's people really, really interested in solving those problems, like your daughter.
Yeah, well, that's what she always wanted to do. You know, ever since she was in high school. So I guess she's doing her dream.
No, that's great that somebody's that proficient at knowing all that they have to know to go through a doctorate. You know, get a PhD in immunology and microbiology. That's awesome.
Yeah, Roger. All right, then. Y'all have a good evening. I'll be listening for you on the others.
Yeah, give her my congratulations. That's fantastic. That was Charles. He's in West Nashville. Kilo Charlie 4 Tango November Quebec. And if you couldn't hear him, his daughter graduated from the University of Utah and her PhD in well, she'd already graduated from somewhere, but she got her PhD in her microbiology and immunology at the University of Utah, which is pretty cool. I don't know about University of Utah. I don't know anything about them, but obviously they must have a good program in that. Anyway, who else is any place anywhere, or West in particular? Anybody anywhere?
KR4AZ.
Oh, Tim, I was just thinking about you the other day. How you doing?
Man, I've been doing all right. I just been out of pocket with the radios. Hadn't been home on Wednesday night doing a small group church. Either got the radios all undone with storms, or hadn't been home. So I did have it hooked up. I was sitting here on the computer. I said, I'm gonna check in. And before Paul thinks I checked out.
Well, I did. As a matter of fact, I called another ham who used to be on the net regularly just to find out what was going on, because he's having some issues, some health issues, and that was the reason. But I just wanted to know. I didn't know what happened to him.
Yep. Well, we're doing okay on this end. It's been busy. You been doing all right?
Oh yeah, doing great. It's I can't believe I'm in such good health for being 74 years old.
They say 74 is the new 50 now, ain't
it? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. You mean 1950 or no? I know what you mean. I don't know what it is. I just know that medical science has helped me a lot over the years.
I'm messing with you. That's always these commercials. They talk about something being the new this, the new that. And I said, well, yeah. And I wake up, sometimes you don't feel that way. But that's all right. Lord's blessing. I'm still walking on top. That's the main thing. I hadn't checked in on the Bible net in a while. And had the radio on early morning. I couldn't check in because I didn't have time. It's something else I was going to. And I knew I didn't hear Marion on there. And even the last time I checked in, he was having a hard time. Is he still around? Is he doing all right? Do you know?
No, I don't know. I know that he was having some issues and he was in a rehab facility for something. I don't remember what it was now. But yeah, I haven't been on either because I go to bed at like 10 o'clock and get up at 2 because my wife gets home at 2:15 and then we sit up for a couple 3 hours and go to bed. So I can't. If I stay up till 6, I'll never get up. You know, I'll be asleep through the day. You know, for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's my problem. I'm a night owl, so sometimes I don't get to bed till 1:30 or 2 o'clock anyway. So it's hard to roll out of there at
6. I still get up 7:30 or 8, but as long as I get 6 hours, that's all right. Oh, let me let you get on down the trail, and just wanted to holler at you while I'm sitting here and had an opportunity to do so. Hope everybody's doing all right. Good talking to you. And thanks for doing what you do. KR4 AZ to clear at you.
Yeah, you got a good signal there, Tim. That's Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Zulu. He's in Murfreesboro, and that's Tim. Anybody else west, south, or anywhere?
KB9RKK.
Man, yeah, coming out of the woodwork. How you doing, Frank?
Good. I'm in the mobile right now, but parked.
Ah, okay, very good. Yeah, you sound a little. Your audio is a little thinner.
Yeah, this mic's not as good as the desk or as my headset.
No. Is it a regular handset in the car?
Yeah, the one that comes with the ICOM.
Oh yeah. That's what's funny is I saw it again in somebody's website. They were talking about does ICOM use a different? You can use any handset on an ICOM. The answer was no.
Nope, you got to use this time. Condenser, but you got to use a good one.
And it's a condenser mic, I guess, instead of a dynamic or an elect. They don't use any electrets, do they?
It's an electret, which is a type of condenser mic. But yeah, if you want to get real technical, it's an electret mic.
Yeah, I thought it was, but I wasn't sure because I've never had an ICOM set at all. Yeah, it sounds okay though. I mean, it's like I said, the audio is just not as robust.
Yeah, it's this one. I mean the element in my headset when I fixed it on myself, it was a whole $4. So it's you just gotta find the right one that's got the right characteristics, and get the right capacitor for it, resistor, and you can get it.
I got you. Well, very good. You sounded great.
Yeah, I couldn't quite hear Murfreesboro in the car, but I almost could. If I move a little bit, it comes in a little better. But anyway, I just didn't think I'd make it into the house before. I just come back from dinner with the XYL and the neighbors, and I was like, let me see if I can still catch them on the FM portion. And there we are. So thanks for doing that, KB9RKK.
Very good. That's Frank. He's still in the car. Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo. Anybody else?
K1 JTB.
K1, is it Juliet Delta Bravo? Did I get that right, Sam?
Juliet Tango Bravo.
Oh, yes. Yeah. This is only the second time you checked in with that new fancy call you got.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you throw everybody a curve. I've had 3 different calls, and so everybody's used to the one I have now. But it's just funny how when you change, everybody goes, who?
Yep, it's me, formerly KQ4ADO. Nothing for the net. This is John in Brentwood. 73, everybody.
All righty, that was John in Brentwood. Kilo 1, Juliet Tango Bravo. I'd say it was, if I were going to remember that, it's John Two Bellies. No, John Tango Bravo. That's what it is. Anybody else anywhere, any place?
KO4 SSW, Kilo Oscar 4 Sierra Sierra Whiskey. This is Blair in Mount Juliet.
Ah, very good, Blair. Have you checked in before?
I have not. I have been a resident of Mount Juliet for about 3 weeks now. This is the first time I've had a chance to get an HT out and play around.
Oh, very good. Yeah, it's good to have you in there. Whereabouts are you in Mount Juliet?
Well, at the moment, we're in an apartment complex over off of Providence, but we are having a home built that we should hopefully in about 2 weeks close and get into our new house just down off of South Rutland.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's moving into a new house is fun. I've only done that once, I think. I got to think about it. I've re-renovated a house, but no, new houses are neat.
Yeah, it's our first move in 30 years, so it's been quite an experience. Amazing how much junk you can accumulate in 30 years, but definitely enjoying it. Came here from Atlanta and can safely say I do not miss the city of Atlanta in any way, shape, or form.
I spent not a lot of time in Atlanta, but it's not a city I'd want to live in. It's just like a big congestion. That's what it is to me.
It was okay. Well, it was nice when we moved here to Atlanta back in 1981. But needless to say, it's not, especially the past 5 to 10 years, it's just really gone downhill.
Oh, I'm sure it has. I know that, just to give you I went to Atlanta. The first time I was in Atlanta, I went there for a company meeting. And of course, I flew up there from Tampa. That's where I live. And I'd never been in Atlanta before. I might have flown through there, but I was never in Atlanta driving around. And I remember getting in the van that was going to take us to the hotel. And that was when it was probably 82 or 83, maybe at the latest. And they were starting all of that crazy interstate stuff going on. And I mean, I was astounded because you probably remember it a lot better than I do. I remember looking around into this window, this travel of this van, and through all these windows. And I could, no matter where I looked, there was major freeway construction going on. I said, how the heck did they do all this at one time? And they did.
And they haven't stopped yet. It's still going on. There's all kinds of major construction projects in Atlanta on the interstates.
Yeah, but it's still, I would avoid it like the plague. Anytime I'd love to not go through Atlanta to go down to Florida, but it's kind of hard to avoid.
Yeah, no good way to get around Atlanta. I still will be going back on a regular basis for business and for family, but I'm definitely not going to miss living there day to day.
Well, Georgia has a similar tax structure, don't they, for housing, for properties?
I haven't looked into it too much yet. I think our property taxes are very similar. I've noticed that, of course, there's no state income tax in Tennessee, which will be nice, but I'm noticing utilities, homeowners insurance, car insurance. It's amazing how much cheaper it is here. I know we're saving probably on homeowners and car insurance right now about $3,500 a year over Atlanta.
Oh my God! What part of Atlanta did you live in?
We lived in Tucker, which is just east of the city, near the Stone Mountain area.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I did some projects up there, and also I did a big project in Cobb County, which was a growing mess when I was up there.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable how Atlanta grew. I mean, it really. Yeah, I don't even want to think about it because I wouldn't want to live in Atlanta. That's for sure.
Well, we're looking forward to our new life here, and definitely going to get involved with the amateur radio community as well. So hopefully get to meet some of you guys soon.
Oh yeah, well don't forget we actually do a breakfast on the second and fourth Tuesday of every month over at Golden Corral in Hermitage, and usually 10 or 12 or 14 of us show up and just chew the fat, So it was a lot of fun, and you get to meet some of the people that are on the air.
Second, well, since we get into our new house, I'll probably take some time to do that.
What did I say, Mike? Did I say second and fourth?
Tuesday. Yeah, second and fourth is what you said.
Yeah, second and fourth Saturday. That's what it is. Second and fourth Saturday. I might have said Tuesday. I don't know why. I guess it's the dementia kicking in.
All right. Well, I'll clear off here and let somebody else join on the net. But great to talk to you guys. KO4SSW.
Very good. That's Blair, formerly of the Atlanta area. Kilo Oscar 4 Sierra Sarah Whiskey. And he's moving into the Mount Juliet area. So that's kind of cool. He's on his HT. In an apartment over there near Providence. All right. Well, very good. Who else is any place anywhere before we move on? Hey, congratulations, Earl. You made the 2-meter net tonight.
I hope I thought I missed it, but anyway, I was out quality control in my maintenance on my board, and I got a win this time, I guess. I got a little bit of board down with the headlights on.
Ah, very good. Very good. Everything else going well for you?
Yeah, pretty well. Everybody's doing the same out there. We joined along with you. Once you get back at it, Katie, more than DVC.
Very good. That was Earl. He's over in Noreen, just east of Cedars Lebanon Park. That's Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu. Anybody else? Keep dragging in everybody, the dregs, so to speak. That's not really the dregs. The lollygaggers are checking. Who else? Please come now. All righty, we're going to move then over to 144-240, unless I hear somebody complain.
Man, you didn't call me.
I mentioned the term lollygaggers. Did you hear me?
You didn't give me long enough time. K1 yesterday.
Oh, very good. By the way, you're number 26 tonight there, Scott. K1 SPD. What's up?
Oh, not much. I walked over here yesterday evening at 2000 hours, and radio was on, and it was dead silent. And I'm looking at it, and I'm making sure it's hooked up and everything. And I wonder why the net isn't coming on. Well, no, I can't remember what day of the week it is.
What day? We did that last night?
Yeah.
I have done the same. I said, where'd everybody go? You start checking your clock and your watches, you say, frequencies, and then you realize you're dumb.
Yep. All right. Well, where to now?
144-240 upper side.
Good deal. K1 SPD.
All right, we'll see you over there. If you just give me a minute to get there. That was Scott in Laverne, Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta. Anybody else want to check in as a lollygagger, lurker, or sandbagger? Or flat earther? Or SDR dongler? Whatever. Nobody there? All right, give me a second to go over there. K4 PEW, going over. QSYing, as they say, on 144.240. This is Kilo 4, Papa Echo Whiskey on 144.240. Looking for check-ins here on this frequency starting from the south. Please come down. All right, I heard a couple. I think I heard Jim in there, and I also heard Tim. Tim, that was you, right, Tim? Yeah, very good. Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Z. I haven't heard the Z term in a while. And that must be, was that you, Jimmy? Oh, yeah, no, very good. Yeah, you missed the south earlier, but that's you're doing fine. Good signal, by the way. Yeah, very good. That's KE4TYJ. Jim in Woodbury. Who else is south? Very good. You sound good as well, Scott. That's Scott in Laverne. Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta. Who else is south? South or east? KK5S. Big signal out of Cary down there in Baird's-Mill. You sound good. That's Kilo 5 Sierra. Cary in Baird's-Mill. Who else is south? What's south or east?
KG4CXE, Chris.
Very good. You sound good as well there, Chris. Of course, you're probably one of the closer ones to me. That's Kilo Golf 4 Charlie X-Ray Echo. Who else is east? Okay, I heard two in there. I heard Stan, Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. Good signal, as well as heard Earl in there. KE4DEZ. Sounds good as well. Who else is south or east? Or north? Anybody north? North. That was a double north. Then over to the west.
KM4, wow.
Very good. We got Michael in there. Kilo Michael Yankee Romeo Foxtrot, just in southeast Nashville. Who else is west?
KG4 ILV.
Very good. We got Jack in Donaldson. Kilo Go 4 India Lima Victor. Who else is west?
Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo.
Very good. We're making a quick run on these ones here. Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Who else is west?
KC4TNQ.
Big signal out of West Nashville. Your signal's actually better here on the upper sideband than it is on FM.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
Yeah, very good. Kilo Charlie 4. Well, it's easier, but the signal gets through better. It's skinnier. That's Kilo Charlie 4 Tango November Quebec. Who else is west? Or yeah, west. West or anywhere. Lollygaggers, lurkers, and sandbaggers before we move on. All right, don't forget all you 10-meter people who are on upper sideband, I'll put it that way. Don't forget tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m., be there. You have to be there personally until we develop an AI system to get you on all the nets without you being there. It'll just sound like you and be like you. It'll operate your radio. You'll be in bed. Anyway, we had 12. Any more before we jump out of here? What, lurkers, lollygaggers, or sandbaggers here on the upper sideband? Anybody hearing something I can't? Joel has upper sideband, doesn't he, Mike?
I'm not sure, Paul.
I would think he does. I don't know. Maybe not. I know he's got stuff. Anyway, there was 12 of us in there tonight. All right, so we're going to go over to wherever I said we're going. Oh, yeah, 50.135. That's where we're going. 50.135 upper sideband. Catch everybody there.
Confrontation.
This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net here on 6 meters, 50.135. Again, we'll start from the south. Please come down. Anybody south, please come down. You know, I still have a little fairly high SWR on occasion here. Anybody south, please come down. How about east? How about north? Can anybody hear me? Please come down. Anybody copy me? K4 PEW. Let's try it this time. K4 PEW. Is anybody copying me here on 6 meters?
Yeah, I can hear you, Paul. KG4 CXE.
All right. Well, very good. That's one. For some reason the antenna I'm using doesn't want to tune properly, but this one seems to be doing okay. So we got KG4 CXE. You got me, K4 PEW. Anybody else? Let's start from the south. South or east?
I can hear you, but there's very little signal. I'm not sure who else can hear you.
Yeah, is that Chris? I heard Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Man, my antenna sucks. Who else? Who else is any place anywhere? Please come down. Okay, anybody copying something? I am not hearing anything, quite honestly, besides the ones that already checked in. Anybody? Anybody? KO4OTV, I heard that one. KO4OTV. Who else? Yeah, I got you in there. I can hear you, Greg. Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Anybody else hearing anything? Yeah, I got some work to do. I'm only hearing 4 check-ins tonight. Is there anybody? Chris, can you hear anybody else? Can anybody hear anybody else? All right, it's K4 PEW. We're going to move over to 223.415. So closing out this net because I can't hear crap. Maybe I'll have to somebody else do the 6 meter net next time unless I figure out what's going on here. Anyway, it's K4 PEW.